In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty, and darkness was on the surface of the deep. And God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Then there was evening and morning on the first day. Then on the second day God said, "Let there be an expanse in the middle of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God called the expanse sky. And there was evening and morning the second day. Then the third day came, and God said, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered together to one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth yield grass, herbs yielding seeds, and fruit trees bearing fruit after their kind, with their seeds in it on the earth." And it was so. Then there was evening and morning, a third day. On the fourth day God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky, to divide the day from the night." Then God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He also made the stars, and God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light to the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. God saw that it was good, and there was evening and morning, a fourth day. On the fifth day God said, "Let the waters abound with living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth in the open sky." Then God created the large sea creatures and every living creature that moves, and saw that it was good. And there was evening and morning, a fifth day. On the sixth day God said, "Let the earth produce living creatures after their kind, livestock, creeping things, and animals of the earth after their kind." And it was so. Then God said, "Let's make man in our image after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In God's image he created him. Male and female he created them both, and God blessed them. God saw everything that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and morning, a sixth day.
So the heavens, the earth, and all the many wonders God created were finished. And on the seventh day he rested from all the work he had done. God then blessed the seventh day and made it holy. This is the account of the creation of the heavens and of the earth. Now no plant or herb of the field was growing, because God had not caused it to rain on the earth. And there was no man to till the ground, but a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. So God formed man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. God then planted a garden to the east, in Eden, and there he put the man whom he created. Out of the ground God made every tree grow that was pleasant to sight, and good for food, including the tree of life that was in the middle of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Then God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to cultivate and keep it. God commanded the man, saying, "You may freely eat of every tree of the garden, But you shall not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for the day that you eat of it, you will surely die. God then said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him." Out of the ground God formed every animal of the field and every bird of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. Whatever the man called them, that became its name. The man gave names to all the livestock, and to the birds of the sky, and to every animal of the field. But for man there was not found a suitable helper. Then God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. As the man slept, he took one of his ribs and made a woman from the rib which he had taken. God then brought her to the man. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She will be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man will leave his father and mother, and will join with his wife, and they will be one flesh. The man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed." Now the serpent was more subtle than any animal of the field which God had made. One day he came to the woman and said,
Has God really said you shall not eat of any tree of the garden?
We may eat fruit from the trees of the garden, but not the fruit from the tree which is in the middle of the garden. For God has said, "You shall not eat of it. You shall not touch it, lest you die."
You won't really die, for God knows that in the day you eat it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.
When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree would make one wise, she took some of its fruit and ate. Then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. Immediately their eyes were opened, and they both became aware that they were naked. They then sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Later in the day they heard God's voice walking in the garden, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of God among the trees of the garden. God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?"
I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, so I hid myself.
Who told you that you were naked? From the tree that I commanded not to eat from?
The woman whom you gave to me, she gave me fruit from the tree, and I ate it.
What have you done?
The serpent deceived me, and I ate the fruit.
Because you have done this, you are cursed with all livestock, and of every animal. You shall fall on your bed, and shall eat dust of the day. I will put all sin in you, and between your offspring and parents. He will lose your head, and you will lose his teeth. I will greatly multiply your pain and child. You will bear children. Your desire will be for your husband. He will rule you. Because you have listened to your wife's voice, eaten from the tree and did not eat. The ground is cursed after this. You will eat from it and not labor all the days of your life. It will yield corn to the distant. You will eat the earth. You will eat bread by the sweat of your face, and return to the ground. For you were taken out of it. You are dust, and shall return to dust. The man called his wife Eve, because she would be the mother of all living. God then made garments of animal skins for Adam and for his wife, and clothed them. God said, "Behold, the man has become like us, knowing good and evil. Now lest he returns and also eat from the tree of life and live forever." Therefore God sent him out from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed angels at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way